Hello. We are here today with another Canadian guest joining us from Ottawa, Canada, and this is Miora. Nice to meet you
Hey,
finally.
Hi, nice
Miora.
to
So
meet
glad
you.
you're here finally.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's so surreal because you guys have been in my ears for the last year, and now I'm seeing you what feels
Oh,
like in person. It's just so cool. It's
that's
amazing.
cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. So it's such a
So
we,
awesome.
we get to, it's a privilege for us to get to
Yeah.
hear the stories. So,
It's
It's
kind of weird that we're in
amazing.
someone's ear. Do you ever think that, Sarah? Like people are
Yeah.
walking around listening to
well, a
each
lot of people come on and say, "Well, I watch you," and I'm like, "Oh, we do have
It's you
YouTube
too.
Viewers
people,"
too.
but yeah, the we are a podcast, so being in the
Yeah.
air is definitely,
Yeah, you
yeah.
guys are in my ears on my way to work. You're my
Uh,
commute to and from my after work activities. You're in my ears
Love
at the
that.
gym, the sauna, like all the time.
Our friend Jeff
So good.
Forney listens to us on hikes. That's what he always tells us.
Yeah.
And I'm so
Oh,
glad that he still listens after all this,
Me too.
you know.
so good.
Hi, Jeff.
Shout out.
I'm
Yeah.
glad we go to the sauna with you. We need to go.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I'm
everywhere.
always worried about taking
Me too.
stuff in when I'm at the sauna.
Well, I
But
don't bring my phone in. Leave your
Mm,
phone in the locker or something, but you
you
just
can
bring in
listen.
your
oh,
earbuds.
good,
Yeah.
good to know. Okay.
Yes.
See?
And don't bring in that metal water bottle because I've done that. You just
Oh,
Oh,
I've done
singe
that
my
and
hand
burned
off.
myself. Yes.
oh, I've never done that.
Mm.
You're smart.
So,
I don't know.
So tell us your story wherever you want to, where were you born and
Hmm.
Oh
what were the
man.
circumstances
All
and
right.
all
I
that stuff.
apologize if I jump around a lot because you know how it is trying to
Yes.
get your story out. You're like, I have so many thoughts and no organization. I was born in Romania in a very small gypsy village. I am totally okay with that word, first of all. Like, I know people are like, that's not politically correct, but it's fine.
You're allowed.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
like I understand the word is Roma. That's fine. We can use that. But I'm gonna call it a little gypsy village because it is. Um, a little gypsy village called Strahaya or Strahaya. I'm not entirely sure how they pronounce that. In the night in 90,
In 1990?
1990. So this was October of 90. So it was very shortly after the fall of communism,
Mm-hmm.
which has a very
Mhm.
interesting political effect on my story. Um, and adoption was just like wide open.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Babies were literally being taken from hospitals. They weren't properly being like relinquished. They were literally taken from cribs. There was a lot of illegal adoptions. I am so grateful that yes, my adoption is considered illegal today, but I ended up with an incredible family. Not everybody has that story. So
That's
there's a
right.
lot of mistakes, but I mean, I'm so happy to be where I am. So I was adopted in 90. I came home, I believe,
And were you a baby? Were you an infant?
yeah, I was
Okay.
6 weeks, 6 weeks
That
old.
wasn't always the case with those Eastern European
Yes.
No.
adoptions.
And that's why my sister's story is so vastly different from mine, which I mean, I'll tell a little bit of it because she speaks French and she's not comfortable trying to communicate in English anyway. But her story is so vastly different from mine because she was in an orphanage for 3.5 years. But that was just 3 years later, and that's how much adoption changed in that short period of
In
time.
that time. Interesting.
But of course I
So
paused.
you were adopted in 1990. Your parents
Yes.
came from
Yes.
Canada. I mean,
Yes.
from Canada to Romania.
Yes. So my adoptive family was living in Vancouver. And within like 2 months, my parents were like, let's adopt a baby. Yeah, okay. And then mom was like on a plane in Romania. Like such a short turnaround. It's so
Wow.
wild. So she brought me home, I think it was just before Christmas. So it was a pretty quick thing. Brought to Vancouver, brought into a very large like blended, previously broken, now healing family. My mom has 4 children from a previous marriage. My dad has three from a previous. They got together.
Biological to them?
Yes. And then they got together and then adopted me.
And said, let's adopt a baby.
Yep. So I'm
basically.
the collective one.
Wow. So
And
interesting.
I have a huge, huge, huge family, both biologically and on my adoptive side. And yeah, it's wild.
It is wild.
Been a ride.
I'm curious. I know you're going to go into it, so I want to ask. I'm curious about how you were relinquished, or if it was you were properly.
Oh, yes, I would
Right.
love.
And was it to do, so the fall of communism, did that contribute to why you were adopted?
I believe so. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been tricky to get information because it's not like we
Mhm.
can communicate overly well.
Right.
They're not educated and they've got great technology, but they, speaking is it's pretty tricky. We can kind of like chat through literal chat GPT to like translate things to each other. The stuff
Yeah.
really gets lost in translation.
Now, did your parents know who your biological parents were? It was an open adoption?
Yes, it was my adoption was one of the first from that town, and it was so like it was such a mess that my mom literally went there with her driver to their house and was like,
Oh,
"Hey," knocking on the door, like, "We need those papers." So that we like it was that
really?
casual.
Wow.
Was it, how many children did they have before
So
you?
it's so interesting because this is kind of what I've just been able to piece together over the years. Again, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I think to be true. During communism, they were all like kind of mandated to have as many children as they could to like
Mm,
build up the army.
right.
That was the idea.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
everybody had at least 4 or 5 children. This was like a thing amongst Romania. And I guess this also kind of translated into these gypsy families. I don't know if there was as much pressure on them or not, but birth control like didn't exist. It was banned. So they had 4 girls before me. And then there's an 6 or 8 year age gap between myself and my sister above me. So they must have thought, like, well, we've got to try one more time because in these communities, it must be very important to have boys to carry on that family name.
Oh,
Think of like what are those crazy gypsy shows where they have these like elaborate weddings and they're trying to carry on the family name and the kids get married really young? Like, it's kind of not far off.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I guess they needed to have a boy because they hadn't had a boy yet. And I was girl number 5. And they were like, well, we've kind of hit as many kids as now we can have. And we've got this 5th girl, and we can't afford to pay her dowry eventually. Like, we literally can't afford this child.
It's yeah, affordability. And you have
Yeah.
you have four
4.
siblings who are with both parents. I mean,
Yeah.
4 full siblings.
Yeah,
Four
that's
full
a
si
bit.
like my mom met like 2 or 3 of them when she was there. It was
Wow.
that open. So wild.
Totally different.
So insane. Like I have a little journal that my mom kept when she was there, and like the agency that she used in Vancouver, they were like, make sure that you bring some forms of bribery with you.
Wow.
So she had like a suitcase with like stockings and like Kent cigarettes and like Coca-Cola, and she's like bribing officials to like sign papers faster. Like it was insane.
Yeah, not cool.
No,
No, such a
awful.
flawed. I mean, I can't even call it a
It's
system. It
it's
wasn't a system.
a that is a buying babies, a
Yeah,
trafficking
Absolutely.
trafficking.
situation.
And
Hmm.
all sides were taken advantage of.
Hmm.
It's just, and I'm so lucky, so lucky. Not everybody ends up with this story. Like, it's just so wild. Yeah. So that was my beginning of
Crazy.
my story. But that's been hard to piece together because
So you were with your mother, your biological mother, for six
Parents,
weeks.
yeah.
no, I was actually abandoned in a hospital. So
Oh,
she had me and then left right away. And then I wasn't actually properly relinquished. I was just left in the hospital. So
oh, okay. I
what
didn't
they
know that part.
did, I believe like Romanian children, like actual Romanian children were probably more I don't even know what the word is, desirable. So those children were adopted first. And I think in the media, it really like portrayed that there was like so many homeless children and so many kids that needed adoption. But then when like Canadians and Americans got there, they're like, no, there isn't. Like, there's not as many Romanian kids as there are Roma kids. And there was like tons of Roma kids that needed to be adopted. But the Romanian kids were scooped up first.
Mm.
So I think that's kind of partially why the guidelines were not there. And then between my adoption and my sister's, things changed so much that she ended up in an orphanage for 3.5 years. So it's like, what's the better situation?
I have a friend that was in an orphanage for 3.5 years, same thing, 4 years, but same thing, Roma.
Really?
Yep.
It's awful.
Can't tell her story, but yeah.
Becker has a cousin that was a Roma child in
Wow.
an orphanage. My son has a cousin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Anyway, back to your story. So you
Yes,
go back
please.
to Canada.
Yeah.
Um, uh, you were an infant, so you got in right away. And then
Ah,
were you the only adopted child in that family?
yes, I was. And it was always one of those interesting things where like I was very aware of the fact that I was adopted. So I look so physically different from the rest of my family. They're all like blonde and blue-eyed or
Sure.
light brown hair and they're tall and I'm short and look nothing
And
like them.
were you close? Did you ever?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a massive age gap between myself and my mom's kids and my dad's kids. I didn't know my dad's kids till I was about 19 or 20, but my mom's kids I was like raised kind of with them, but there's a very big age gap. There's 22 years between myself and the eldest, and then 14 between myself and the youngest.
Oh, so they were already high school
Yeah, and
young.
they weren't living at home. So I very much had like
Okay.
the only
Only
child
child
kind of
experience.
thing. Like my
Okay.
youngest sister was living at home for a short period of time and then she had moved out to go to school and like I very much felt like a an only child with my grandparents. That's what it felt like.
Because they were older when they
Oh,
My
remarried.
parents were 50, like 40,
what?
49 and 50, 49 and 55. Yeah.
What? And
Hmm.
when they adopted you?
Hmm. They made this decision within like 2 months. It was absolutely
Obviously a
wild.
not very thought out decision to think we're
I
this old
know.
and we'll die
We'll
young,
Crazy,
die.
like
hey?
she'll be young when we die.
Crazy, hey?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in their
There's
80s
so
now.
much, look, I'm glad it was a great experience, but there is so much wrong
Wrong.
with
This whole
everything
story.
that you're telling us.
Oh, I know. I laugh about it because it's been like this year of me just like processing it all and finding some of it like hard to digest and then some
Yes,
of it
I'm
just
sure.
hilarious. And now it's just like this is just so wild.
Yeah,
Isn't
your parents like come together. We're older, second marriage. I mean, I got married at 50. We want a baby. Let's just go get one.
that nuts?
It is a
Let's
little.
go
So
It's
bribe
weird.
some Romanian officials
Yeah.
and grab an infant.
grab
Yeah.
an
Let's
Isn't
infant.
play
that insane?
house with someone else's baby in another
Yeah.
country.
Like, hey, knocking on the door. We kind of need that last
Oh
form. Like,
my
it's
God.
just so,
I'm
it's
sure you've
insane.
had a big year. This must be a big year.
Oh, you guys have been along with me for it the whole time.
You're like,
It's, yeah.
So how
oh,
did you feel growing up? And I mean, did any of this, uh, how did this manifest in your life?
I feel like with like a lot of adoptees, you're like just trying so hard to fit in and
Mm-hmm.
like just so
yeah,
desperately wanted to be like a part of my family. Of course I was, but like when you're a kid, looking physically different's like a big deal. I don't
it
know what
is.
it is, but it is. So I was just always like, just simple things of like, I want blonde in my hair. Like, that's not going to suit me, but like, I just wanted that so bad. Just like always really wanting to physically fit in and
Yeah.
never did. So I think that weighed heavily on me for a long time. And they're all from New Zealand. Like, that's their background.
Okay.
So that was kind of
Both your parents?
just my mom's side. So
Okay.
my four sisters that I grew up with as like my immediate
New
sibling.
Zealanders.
They're very
Mm.
much like have this identity of being New Zealanders and
Hmm.
they're so proud and they love it and I love it. I've been to New Zealand more times than I can count. I have New Zealand citizenship. But like
Oh,
I so badly wanted to like be a New Zealander with them and like I would lie to people. They're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "New Zealand."
I'm a Maori.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
you're like
would.
not.
I would just to try and like go with what they had.
Yeah,
So I never embraced my ethnicity or my culture, anything at all. I was just like, that didn't happen because I don't know what happened. I don't know my story. So I'm,
So, but your
no.
mom
they did
didn't
tell you.
tell you your story. She knew your story.
She
Did,
did, but
but
that's
she
really
didn't
all
tell
she
you?
knew. That's really all she knew. She doesn't know
Well,
a
I
whole
mean, she
lot.
went to their house and
She did, but again, there wasn't a whole lot of like conversation that she was privy to because there was translators and foreign documents, and she was just out there on her own.
Bringing home the baby.
Yeah, like it was
But
chaos.
there was no in your household education about where you're from and
Not really, because
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think they probably had given me the opportunity to like investigate and know more, I'm sure.
I
But
just mean like cultural things like there
try the Romanian food or the,
something,
we
yeah,
were a part of like
learn a dance.
right? Something.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something
The
to
we
polka, whatever it is.
yeah, seriously. I do that actually.
do you?
Uh, we were a part of like a Romanian group, like
Of
there's
adopt, like other
Or
yeah,
with other
other Romanian
kids.
adoptees.
exactly, yeah. So I had, I mean, that type of influence, but no, it was very much like we're from New Zealand and you can be from New Zealand too.
You're one
But
of
like
us. That's right.
I wanted that. But that really changed for me in like 2018, which is this is such a ridiculous story, but my husband's dad was working in Europe one summer, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to be in Romania for a bit. It would be kind of cool to go find your family." And I'm
Mm.
just
So
kind
you
of like,
hadn't at this, so up until 2018, you just kind of immersed yourself in
in
Kiwi
yeah,
life and
yes,
Canadian
and
life.
yes. I was
Canadian,
just
a
trying
Canuck
to
and a
be a Kiwi.
Kiwi and
100%. I was just like, that's me. I'm a Kiwi. Like, yeah, for the longest
there's
time.
your book title. That's me. I'm a Kiwi.
That's me. I'm a Kiwi. Like, fully lie about where I'm from. People are like,
Yeah.
oh, Mioara's from New Zealand. I'm like, I sure am. Like, always lied. Never brought up the Romania thing.
I mean, we're laughing, but it's so sad.
I know.
Yeah.
It really is just sad. It's like erasing your
I
own
know.
identity. Yeah.
It
And by the
is.
way, are your parents still alive, your adoptive
Yes.
parents? Okay.
Yes. And they
I
are living
mean,
in New Zealand.
Oh, they are.
um,
And they're in
Yeah.
their 80s, right?
And they're in
Eight?
their 80s. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
well,
80
it's,
and 85.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, yeah, that,
Yeah. It's crazy. My grandparents, I call them.
yeah.
Such a big generational gap.
And
Huge.
were they, so we'll get to 2018. I just want to jump back to,
Yeah.
so did your mom just didn't really acknowledge your own heritage? She just wanted you to dive into hers and they like the adoption was you're ours and let's forget the adoption and it was
I
that.
just think that they didn't know enough to be like, here's what we know. And again, I'm sure that it probably, I mean, it was never a taboo subject. Like, it was never like a we don't talk about that ever. I think I didn't show any interest because I just so badly wanted to be what they were.
Yeah,
Hmm.
of course.
So I
That's a
really do think it
common.
was
That's very
more
common.
me. Yeah, like I really do think it was more me being like, nope, I don't want to be this. I want to be you. Like again, down to me being wanted to like change my hair color and my mom being
Well,
like,
and
no, it's
and
beautiful. Leave
nobody
it.
had therapy. Like your parents didn't go
No,
into this with a lot of education about adopting a child.
nothing.
So
Nothing.
otherwise it would have been handled
I
differently.
mean
Yeah.
Exactly.
the communist wall fell and it was a flood of
It
Free
was
I mean
for
just
it
a
was
all.
a
free
lot of
for
people
all.
just a flood of heading to East Europe to get kids
Exactly.
is the
It was
time.
it was
Yep.
like the wild west of adoption. Like it was
Hmm.
just
Of
yeah,
international,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, of international chaos.
And
Hmm.
now those fallout, a lot of these kids who are adults are now,
Yes,
maybe will
they're
get deported because they don't have legal papers. Some of them were brought in so illegally.
my cousin is going through that right now. At
Yep.
this point in time, she's like a citizen of
Disgusting.
nowhere.
Yep.
She was, yeah, it's so insane.
It
Mm.
is.
Okay, so you get married, by the way. When do you
Yes.
Yeah.
get married?
I
And
got married, I was 25, met my husband in Vancouver. He had moved to Vancouver from Ottawa for work. He was same age. We met online. Um, it was just so funny because when we met, he was like, I really have to introduce you to this friend of mine who's also from Romania. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So I meet this friend of his and we're like having dinner one night and we're talking and he's like, "Yeah, I was adopted in 90." And I was like, "Oh, same." So we're talking and after like 20 minutes we realized that like we know each other from these Romanian groups that our families would attend, but we haven't seen each other since we were 3.
Wow.
So like during dinner I like call my mom. I'm like, "Mom, do you know so and so?" And she's like, "Yes. He was at all the same adoption like Romanian groups. So I was like, what? So my husband and his family have been like my spirit guides to like finding my family. Like, I don't know if you believe in like the way that the universe works and
Yeah.
does these things, but my husband has 100% been one of the absolute biggest reason why I know anything.
this
Love
fellow
that.
Romanian adoptee, was he Roma or was he Romanian?
He's Romanian.
He's
He's
Romanian.
Romanian. So very different story.
Hmm.
I don't know what he knew, but just totally different adoptions, right? Everyone's is so different.
Yeah.
Um,
So now in 2018, your father-in-law
yeah,
goes to
I
Europe
love these
and
people. I
he
love
said,
them.
it's so crazy. So in 2018, my father-in-law's like, "Yeah, I'm going to Romania for work and I would love to look up your family." And I was like, "Well, I don't know where they are." And my mom's like, "Well, I've got their last known address. Like, here it is." And my mom had been sending them like a photo of me every year until I was like 14 or 15, but
Oh,
she
she
never
did.
got correspondence back. So she was like, I don't even know if it's getting there. Maybe they just can't write. Maybe they can't mail things. Like, I don't know. We never knew if it was getting there or not. So she's like, this is the address that I have. Good luck finding it in like small town gypsy Romania. But like, go for it. Be careful, but go for it. And my father-in-law, being like street smart Brazilian, he's
Oh,
like,
he's Brazilian.
he's like, I can handle this. So he gets there, hires a driver. A driver's like, you want to go there? Oh no, we're not going there. He's like, oh no, we are. And the driver's like, okay. So they drive there. It's like a 5 hour drive. They get there, they find the house, and my father-in-law's like wandering around on the street. He can see a bunch of cars. He can see people like having a party. He's like, is there a wedding happening in that backyard? He's like knocking on doors, talking to people. He's like, I'm trying to find the mother of a girl that was adopted 30 years ago. Her name's Mioara. And they're like, what? Hold on. Hold on. They like disappear, come back out like 5 minutes later with like my mom hobbling out with like her cane and she's like holding a picture of me. Like
One of the pictures that was
one of
sent.
the pictures that my mom had sent.
so
Yes.
wait, your adopted parents kept your name?
Yeah. And I have the same name as my bio mom,
Okay.
which is pretty cool.
That
So
is
she comes hobbling out with the
She comes
picture.
hobbling out. She's like, is this who you're talking about? And everyone's crying and
Wow.
they invite him in for tea and like the translator's kind of trying to help, you know,
something.
help
Yeah.
them out, but it was pretty tricky. But he found out as much as he could, and he found out for me that I have another sister that was born after me and also adopted. So that's when I was like, what?
Oh, that's your sister.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't have known that unless he hadn't have gone there in 2018 and found out.
And
And
then
was,
all
yeah.
of your older siblings, were they still around? Your full
Yeah. I think
siblings?
he met 3 of 4 of them. Like he met everyone. He met like my grandmother, he met my mom, he met some of the guys. The guys weren't very nice to him. They kind of just like wanted his money and
Oh,
they're like, time for you to go.
so
But
you haven't been there. You yourself have
I
not
have
been there.
not. I have not. It's on
Because
my
your
list.
mother's older now. If she's got a cane, I mean, is there?
Yeah, I mean she was actually older for like a woman to be having a child with that.
Right, because
She was
they
like
had the four,
26. Like they start at like 15. So that is
she had
old.
the full four older kids. Are you curious about that? Is she still alive?
100%.
Okay.
I have them all on Facebook and like I try to pry and ask questions, but like I don't know if what I'm saying is truly getting lost in translation or if they honestly just don't understand me because nobody has any education at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly don't know, but I know that they are like a very secretive people.
Yeah,
So, and there's probably like a lot of pain,
I'm
I think
sure.
that's ingrained in the culture, isn't it? The secretive
Absolutely.
because of needing to survive and
Yes.
Absolutely. And being
be
so heavily
pariahs of
marginalized.
society, right? Yeah, they've been
Absolutely.
totally marginalized. So the secretiveness is
Secrecy is
understandable.
it's
Yeah.
deep rooted, yeah. And like
Hmm.
I understand that they're trying to be very careful about what they say and
Of
so
course.
I'm kind of careful about what I ask, but you know,
And your mom definitely has some pain, I'm sure, about this. There's gotta be,
absolutely.
of course.
There's yeah, like there's
With
no
her coming out
way.
with the picture of you, I mean,
Yes, like this was not something that she wanted for sure. Like this was a I'm sure it was a decision of like the men in the family that were
yeah,
like, no, we need a
Hmm.
boy. We cannot have a fifth girl.
don't have
And
the
then my
money. We
sister,
didn't
who
have a
is girl
boy.
number six.
Mm,
Crazy.
double
So
pain.
you've been in touch with them via
Yeah,
Chat GPT or
there's
Zoom or FaceTime or
yes,
whatever it might
thank
be. But
goodness for technology.
yes.
I've been able to kind of communicate with my nephew the most because he's like one of the youngest in the family and, you know, my generation and has the use of technology. So him and I have kind of chatted the most. And he did say to me, like, yeah, we've been looking for your sister as long as we've been looking for you.
Oh,
Uh,
wait. So they had a boy.
they did.
So you got put
Uh-huh.
up for adoption, your sister got put up for adoption, and they finally had a boy and quit.
They adopted a boy.
No.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Crazy.
they
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 needed that
adopted
boy.
adopted a boy.
a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy in a
Where,
family that all looks like me.
where did
And
they get this?
how did that happen? And where was he from? And how was this approved? Or was it a legal adoption?
I highly doubt it. I
Yeah.
highly doubt it. And I have absolutely no answers about that because my sister and I just found this out because it was a slip of the tongue. She was in Romania this summer speaking to my nephew and the family, and they accidentally let that slip that the brother is
So
adopted.
she went there. She
She
went there.
did. She did.
You
So
said she
this
only speaks French. Where was she raised in France?
No, Quebec City.
Oh,
Quebec
she went to
City.
Canada too.
She went to Canada too, and we had no idea that the other
This whole
person even
time.
existed.
Okay, so
No
some
idea.
kid is living there. That's a whole poor
Isn't
that.
that insane?
Yes,
I know.
gosh. His story. Mm.
You know. Sorry, I'm darting around all over the
It's
place.
a crazy story.
It's insane. It's hard for me to like even put it into chronological order because there's still so much, I mean, as everyone's stories are, there's so much that continually comes up and changes.
So you said something which is interesting to me. You said they've been looking for you both since as
Yeah,
long as they can remember. So what does that mean? They did give you away for adoption, then what? They're looking for you, meaning what?
I guess that they were like looking for me on social media.
To find you.
Yeah, and that this is what my nephew said. And he said that it was like my mother's wish that he try his hardest to find me and my sister and then like connect us.
Oh, she wanted
So
you two to connect
he
because
wanted us to connect. Yeah.
she had to give away these babies because of the situation.
Yes.
At least wanted that for you too. Okay. I was
Yes.
wondering why would they be looking? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they wanted us to connect. And I'm not sure, like I don't even think that they were aware that we both ended up in Canada. Like I don't even think that they knew that. They knew that I was in Canada, but I don't think they had any idea where she was. Because I had no idea where to start searching. Like I started posting things on like as many different find my family type Facebook groups as I could from 2018 until earlier this year. It was just like, I have no idea what her name is. I don't know what she
Anything.
looks like. I don't know what year she was born, but I'm looking for a girl.
Well, and your mom, your adopted mom came to their home. They
Hmm.
knew what happened to you. With
Yes,
her, they left her in the hospital and she went off to an orphanage.
exactly.
Well,
Mm.
you two were left in a hospital too. Both of you just
I
left in
was, I
hospitals.
was.
Yeah.
It was just a funny situation that my mom ended up having to go there at one point to the house to get a document.
Oh my, yeah. So your sister didn't get that instant
No.
adoption, went off to an orphanage.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I'm sure she has a lot to say too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she just recently found out this summer that our brother was like at home, adopted with the bio family, warm and cozy as she was in an orphanage. Like,
Mm.
that's
Well, your
so
brother, but he's not even your
horrible.
brother. He's some kid.
No,
He's some other person's child.
it's so ins like it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
Heartbreaking.
Have you been in communication? Are both of your parents still alive?
Yeah,
The the
yes,
biological?
they are. I very much sense, and my sister has said the same thing that like the men, like dad, grandfather, the men of the family don't really want to have anything to do with us or this women's business.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she said that when she was there, she in her words, he didn't give a shit about me. And I very much believe that. Like he seems like that kind of guy. They don't seem to have a whole lot of emotional attachment to,
Yeah,
you know.
poverty does strange things
It
to people,
does. So you can't
It's
judge, right? You can't judge. I don't
right.
know. I don't know if it was his decision. I don't know if it was his father's decision. I don't know if it was a clan decision. Like, I don't know. We don't know. You can't judge, but I know that the vibe that I read from like a video chat where we're
Hmm.
kind of just sitting there looking at each other and I'm like, you don't want to be here, or a picture is exactly the vibe that she got in person.
He
So
shows up on the video chat. I'm shocked.
he doesn't say anything. He just
Watches.
always observing, always observing.
So are you going to plan a trip there?
I am. I would like to go next year. I
Okay.
wanted to take this year to like really unpack like my own problems
Yes, of
Hmm.
course.
before going out there. And my sister's so different from me because when she found all this out this year, she's like, I need to go to Romania today. I was like, oh, like I need so much more time to process. But
Yeah.
she went this year and that was right for her. But I'm like, I need way more time to think. So I will be going next year with my husband and it will
Yeah.
surely be transformative.
I'm
Now,
glad you're
do you
taking
have
some.
children?
No, we do not. And we will not be having kids. We're very much a power couple. We have
Yeah.
lots of goals and lots of hobbies and very deep inner worlds that keep us super busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well, this has been super interesting.
you need to
Yeah.
keep us up to date on this.
Oh, I
Yes.
I will. I mean, when we had to cancel that first
Yes.
booking, it was like it actually came up at such a good time for me because my sister and I weren't talking at that point,
That's
and
what you
like I
said.
was really struggling, and it was near my birthday. Adoptees, we hate our
Yes.
birthdays, so it was all at the same time, and I was like, I don't even think I can like mention her without crying. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm really glad that things we rescheduled the way that we did
Good.
because I can talk about it now, and her and I are talking again, so it's very nice.
I'm glad you need each other.
100%.
This is your
100%.
person in the world that's out there with you in this weird.
Genetic mirroring is, I
Hmm.
never understood how insane that is until I met her.
Hmm.
It is very,
Will you privately send us a picture of you two? Just so
Absolutely.
curious.
yes, would love to
Absolutely.
see
She
it.
just, she looks like my little baby sister. Like she looks
Oh,
like me. Yeah. I
well, I
will
can't
absolutely
wait
send a
to
picture.
hear from you after you go and
Me
visit
too.
Romania. I'm
Oh,
very,
I
very
will
curious. I want
absolutely keep you
pictures
updated.
and,
Oh,
We
I
want the
will.
uh,
whole thing.
yes,
Absolutely. Thank you
yes.
so much, you guys. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
I loved
you.
hearing your story.
Thank you so
I
much.
think you're going to get a lot of people writing us saying, "Hey, I need to know her," because there's probably a lot of kids out there, adult kids,
Oh, well, I hope that that's what this sparks. I mean, I never
Hmm.
thought that I would even have like the guts to come and have this conversation, but I'm like, I gotta tell it now, you know?
You do.
Now it feels like it has to be aired. So,
It does.
It's
I
good.
like that Sarah
Yes.
said the book title. There you go. The what did you call it,
I
Sarah?
love that.
Kiwi. I'm the
I
what
It's
did
don't
you
know
me.
things.
I'm a Kiwi.
me
Yeah.
and the me the kiwi.
Thank you, Miora. It was so nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you.
Miora.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Keep doing this amazing work. I am such a fan. Forever will be so grateful for you guys and this whole coming out of the fog experience that I literally started at the beginning of your podcast and like experienced it all with you.
With us.
Yay.
Amazing.
That's the best
We
way to
did
do
too.
it.
Yeah.
So incredible.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You
You too.
too.